Summit, Berlin 2025. Thank you for joining. My name is Laura, and I will be your moderator today. Today's session is titled A Comprehensive openBIM-Workflow Demonstration on Non-Essential Residential Building. The speakers for this session are shown on the screen. This session is scheduled to last 90 minutes, including time for a question at the end. The session is being recorded and will be made available in the replay section of this event as soon as possible. I would like to bring to your attention that buildingSMART is committed to ensuring that participation in the development of standards is unrestricted and the process of the adoption is transparent. And standards are developed but do not favor any particular provider and are open and non-binding and accessible to all. Please take note of the code of conduct. Now I would like to hand over to Dave.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to, that's a little loud, building domain session number 1. We're going to be talking today about leveraging BIM and retrofitting with a focus on improving windows and air tightness in an existing non-residential building. So specifically a commercial building. Comprehensive open BIM workflow using IDC, IFC, the bSDD, and BCF. With me today are Mirbeck Neumann, Technical Project Manager for buildingSMART Germany. I'm David Ivey, Senior Design Technology Manager for HOK out of Chicago. And Jan Anders Janssen, the owner of Informations by Ghana AB. So to start, this is sort of an interesting session. It's almost like a play, right? So we each have parts. This is our technical expert. This is our life cycle assessment expert, and I'm the owner. So we'll talk about the project a little bit, and then we'll get into the actual open BIM workflows and talk a little bit about LCA as we go on. So it's like a cookbook or a baking book, right? So the use case management, and then the BIM use case is like the pizza. I know you love this analogy. Margarita and Tano, which I don't know, is Tano like a German sort of thing? It's like tinned tuna and
it's like Italian
tinned tuna pizza. We saw it last night. We didn't try it, but maybe you can. And a little bit of the recipe, right, which is the information delivery manual, the IDM. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. We're winging it. And a process map with photos and video descriptions, a base MVD, which is a specific slice of the pizza, the IFC, which is the whole pizza, and the bSDD, which is the supermarket with all the ingredients. No? No.
That was great.
Okay, next slide. Let's keep moving.
So, okay.
No, the next slide.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thanks, David, for introduction. Thank you for everyone for joining. Before I might move to the next slide, cooking or baking something means you will be able to do the same thing, unless you already did it. So you have a chance to repeat it at home or at your office. In that case, do it. Just try. We will show exactly all that ingredients. Ingredients like IDS plays a major role today, especially bSDD. bSDD, where you got your ingredients, you go to supermarket, you got your products for your pizza, right? You need to bake, so you need to find the content, and that content is really important in that case. As a single source of truth, everyone says IFC, but in our case will be as a proof of concept, bSDD is a single source of truth, because in bSDD you will find IFC dictionary, you will find ATEM, Uniclass, and all other dictionaries that you may need for your ingredients, right? So then let's go through example. I like this video that we did in the past. It was a Norwegian chapter that provides this video. It's open BIM, what open BIM does for you. if you check that video, it explains exactly what you will be using in your, but of course it doesn't explain which standards will or services come in question. So you have now ideas, IFC model, IFC dictionary, let's say in bSDD, and requirements captured by ideas. So now let's start with capturing requirements of our client and architect.
Yeah, I'm an owner now. So as I mentioned, we're all on the steering committee for the building domain, and I'm playing the owner today. So let's go to the next slide. So looking at our project, we had a variety of different media that we could hand off to our technical expert. So we did a laser scan of our building. We'll talk a little bit about the building in a moment. We also had drawings, and from that we built a representative BIM model of the space. So the building is located in Chicago. It's a fairly moderate climate, but in the winter it can be pretty drafty, pretty cold. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was improve the building. The building we happen to own, so we're looking at retrofitting not just our own floor, but all the floors, but we'll just be talking about one floor today. So typical layout of a typical floor. You notice that there are a lot of windows, and in Chicago that can be problematic. So I was reading an article about windows and glazing and decided to go with the Passive House standard instead of the LEED Platinum standard, which is a little better standard. And this will be retrofitting for all the windows in the entire building to close up drafts and help leaking and help energy efficiency. And this is the model that we created, right? So we took our laser scans, like I said, and we took our drawings and created a BIM for this particular project. So the building name, this is the HOK Chicago office. It's at One Prudential Plaza, which is in downtown Chicago in the Loop area. We gave the coordinates which we needed for the assessment. And it was last refurbished in 2019, but we didn't do windows then, so we'll be doing windows now. So again, we're trying to improve energy demand, improve air tightness with documented air leaks via BCF, and then replace the leaky double glazed windows to triple glazed windows with, again, the Passive House standards. Next slide, yeah.
Of course, we worked then in tandem. That was important. Yeah.
So we checked the UCM for related use cases in IDS. I did that, and then Mirbek went through and helped create an IDS for our team, our client team. And then we checked all the import content from the bSDD. So you could take over this part if you want to talk about IDS.
Okay, so of course, client requirements are the most important. We need to capture all information, that all details, and that detail should be machine readable, human readable as well. So you have a chance to do that. And of course, there is a openBIM-Workflow. There's a classical what we represent each time. As you can see, you can start with creation or capturing information of the client, and not only client, but all the parties involved in that project. It can be several ideas, not So we went through use case management, we went to bSDD, and we created two ideas, examples, like for pre-retrofit and after retrofit, post-retrofit, because we need to know what we had before, what kind of windows we had, like the double glazed windows and triple glazed windows for a later stage. So it means you have to capture that information and verify if contractor and that architect that model it properly. And we have all necessary properties, all necessary classes, entities for that case. As you can see, with just an example, how it looks like in the human readable way, IDS and the machine readable. It's just an XML scheme, and based on that, you can create anything. It says you want to avoid IFC building proxy, so you have to try to give an effort to map your objects and the whole building with IFC proper entity. So you have to give an effort. If you have missed something, you have to do some job to find the proper one, right? So you want to capture, of course, that information if someone is missing and using proxy. So we have to go through the IDS validation or rule set validations through the steps. And before the model came to my part or to Jan Anders, architect, in that case, David already run your IDS and model checking or quality assurance before.
Yeah, and we did miss some stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
in fairness, I think every architecture firm that attempts this, sometimes misses some things or miscategorizes some things, and so it took a fair amount of working back and forth between myself and Mirbek to iron out those little omissions, errors and omissions.
Yeah, of course. It means the IDS or in general openBIM facilitates your work, and of course you have BCF in between sending back and forth. Usually, as a consumption, as assumption that BCF usually used at the planning stage. No, you can use it as for operation phase as well, and then we'll be proving now. Jan Anders starts with the requirements that he wanted to have in the area of LCA, life cycle assessment.
Yeah, the IDS part of for the LCA will show us if we have enough information to require that requires in the LCA calculation. It's the emission data or the identification data of the articles that we knew. And first, I always recommend that we take and connect it to generic data, so that when we, after the generic data, puts in specific data on the windows, for example, then we can see the difference between the average and what we chose. And then we have something to tell the owner. Yeah, and the data itself is so that we can calculate the whole life cycle for this window. And the pictures that I have behind my back is telling me all the modules that the standards tells us how to. A is the producing phase, B is the use phase, C is the demolition phase, and D is tell us about what we can do to reuse something. Yeah, that was my part of this. Yeah.
Okay, then if you're not familiar with the context of this play role, like a theater play, we had in the past, in previous 2-3 summits with other players, we tried different use cases. I mean, we started with a vacation home in Valencia, and then we did roof retrofitting, and now we're doing the window, or like a building envelope retrofitting. So it means it's based on the technical report BIM and BAM, because we wanted to show that everything that we put on that technical report is now coming to the standard, so you can simply use that as a basis. Because exchange requirements that we mentioned, or exchange models, we can capture that. So like I said, we had the chance to do it in Valencia. There is a recording of the previous summits. You can find it. By the way, if you were interested, this PDF will be shared among all participants or interested parties. As you can see, you can find it on YouTube. And we had a really interesting case there, vacation home.
Yeah, there were smaller residential projects, and we really wanted to do something this time that was a little maybe more relatable in the larger commercial building.
Yeah. So second time we had really single family home, existing one, and then now it's an existing non-residential build. Next time we will see something, maybe something new one. Now the case of building physics. So we come, we need to know what we would face. As a building physicist, you will come, or energy expert, you come to the building and you'll see, you run your blow dot test, infrared red camera imaging, and you will see that you have some draughts, you have air leakages, thermal bridges, mold growth. That's really a common typical problems in building. So you need to deal with that. How you deal that, or how you capture that. There's a different, next to the digitalization of the assets, so you have now energy simulations. You also have additionally some other tools like anemometer. You can use thermal camera. You can use, and all that data will be fed into the model, right? Not necessarily to IFC model. It doesn't belong to like dynamic data is not part of IFC, because IFC is a static model. You got it once and you have to constantly update. It's a living creature. The building lives and it breathes, by the way, as well. So it means you
Go back. I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's a Minneapolis blowing door?
Minneapolis blowing door. As a blower door, it's a fan with as you can see, it's a red, like it's usually red. So it's a fabric temporary structure that you put on the external door. You blow area inside, or you by creation of positive pressure, 50 Pascal, or minus 50 Pascal, or you create a negative pressure. By doing so, you could close all windows, or designed openings, they should be all closed, and not designed openings like cracks, some problems will be directly visible with your thermal camera. You will see where, as an example, you can see was on the door windows, there are some gasket problems, what we had exactly with your case. That's an interesting case. Okay, how you capture that in a BIM model? You don't do that. You use a BCF for that, because you can capture as an issue, you open the topic, you're saying like, hey guys, someone should change a gasket of that window, or simply completely change the window if it's out of stock now. So it means we had a chance to work on in the past with Jeffrey and with Gianluca on this BCF for. It's a use case, by the way, in UCM. It's a BCF for building owners and sustainability consultants. You can check it later. That's what architect and client did it, and it was the same case in the HOK office. So we run blow dot test, thermal imaging, camera imaging, and as you can see, we found a lot of.
But there's also sort of the anecdotal increase in plug loads in the office just because people are cold or they're hot. Addresses the thermal ability of the windows, but also to reduce, like I said, plug loads so that people aren't running heaters or air little fans at their desks all day because the climate in the office is off. So
yeah, so it means you have now a chance to, give me a second, check thermal imaging. And this is the typical example. It will have, even in this building, probably all that issues related to thermal bridging, air leakages. And you cannot see it with naked eye. You can use a thermal camera for that and document. Thermal camera means, in practice, you have your paper, you match that and saying, and camera documentation. Imagine that's a small house. You can deal with a probable location of that imaging. Let's say that image I took it on the third floor, but imagine skyscraper with 100 stories, and like try to imagine 1,000 images and tried to capture where you had that picture and where was a location of that leakage. So it means model-based, BCF-based, especially if you have model, you can tag that location, tag that object in that window, and the window will directly have a ref telling the exact, at that corner we have an air leakage. That's exactly powerful standard BCF that we can use for. It means not only in planning and the operation and the retrofitting cases as well. So, and our architect client checked the standard and they wanted to have a passive house. So passive house 5 principles. It's, by the way, German standard in Germany, but it's worldwide in US as well. Passive house US is really doing their hard job to spread the standard as well. And we are focusing now on passive house windows and the airtightness in that case. Why it's important? Just this is just let's say bullet points of whole IDM BIM and BAM project in the past. What you need to focus, how we can create, how we can improve. Let's say what you have to focus on, and as you can see, just spaces. If you want to run an energy simulation, you will need spaces, not only building envelope, but you may need spaces. Spaces are coming also with spatial boundaries, like second level spatial boundaries. You need openings, windows, and everything should be properly mapped with IFC. Otherwise, the classification will not work and your energy simulation will ask you what is that object at all. So that is most important that you have to go through. Of course, in some cases, energy simulation, it means you have to provide lambda values, and in other cases, thermal conductivity values, and so on. So that will be interesting, because manufacturing information also relevant. Maybe specification of the window in that case, we captured that as well. In our case, we had the chance to use bSDD as well for some properties. We found them in an IFC dictionary, like thermal conductivity, sorry, the German one, because when we use the German standard, so it's by the way, possibility of a bSDD providing native speaking translations, right? You have a translation of a bSDD for all possible domains there. And thermal conductivity. We had the requirement that client wanted to have passive house standard, and passive house standard means thermal conductivity for windows should be approximate, not less than 0.75. So we have to reach that, or at least check database of passive house certified windows in that area. And he wanted to, our architect wanted to have a, not only triple glazed insulated frame windows, but we of course suggested in that climate, plus you have a house facade windows that in winter with a low altitude of sun, it will be overheating. So you will be in summer freezing in that case. It will be cool, it will be nice, but in winter you will be running there with t-shirts, and so it's you have to think about overheating, and that's what we thought in that case as well. So you can see we worked on our model and we improved the model. We have IFC spaces as well, space boundaries, all necessary properties run. We made an we did a job that we will at least capture thermal transmitters of all components of Windows, manufacturer information. Then we tried to improve as is case. So we thought on improving model, and we use bSDD and IDS for that as well, not just the model. And of course, in that case, you remember you wanted to have daylight sensors and the movement sensors that connects, especially movement sensors, because of smart sensors allows you to operate that louvers integrated in the window. So that was a case here. We wanted to have that automation. So we use the backnet properties as well. We used IFC sensor is a really powerful entity. It has many predefined types for any kind of sensors. Everyone thinks, oh, we don't have movement sensor, we don't have daylight sensors. No, it's an IFC sensor, but with many predefined types. You can check it. Go to IFC dictionary, IFC documentation, or check simply dictionary, write movement sensor. You will find it there with all related properties as well. And we did it. We mapped it, our sensor in that case. As you can see, we went through bSDD API. We applied all necessary property sets, properties related to that sensor. And after installing the smart sensor, we messaged back to our client saying we fulfilled our job, and here you are, the BCF, and as a proof of our job, we provided a BCF ticket with info status saying it's fulfilled now. So we did our job. We went through additional interesting works at the BuildingSMART International, of course. There's a sustainability strategic group that worked on one technical report, or I would call it IDM, and it contains, of course, ideas. It contains bSDD as well, work from product domain that we can profit from. So we checked that, and there is a requirement. There are requirements that we could not directly from our LCA expert who wanted to have that properties, and we went through that dictionaries, as you can see, dictionaries for LCA properties, and we simply mapped them with our components in Revit through bSDD API. As you can see, LCA dictionary. In that case, window, applying that global warming potential total and all the values that we needed or our expert required from us. We had a chance to apply it, and of course to export our IFC model. Later on, we wanted to have now post-retrofit case, so we need to update model. You need to improve the model and add all that manufacturer information. So you have manufacturer. We use exactly a real project window that actually came to our case for that climate. We checked the passive house database for certified passive house windows and curtain walls that related to that area, and plus that allows us to integrate louvers or jalousie. So as you can see, it also has a certificate that we simply added in the BIM model, and of course it will be a part of IFC model directly. So we run QCA, quality assurance. We run again, IDS validation. As you remember, we had two ideas. So pre-retrofit case and post-retrofit case. So you have to know what after post-retrofit case IDS means. Now you have different window manufacturer information, different lambda values, U values for your windows. You have maybe a specification specs requirements. So that's what you capture as a second stage. And if something is missing, you run the validation, and you see that we have still some issues here or topics that we have to go through, and not everything went smoothly, but we managed to show that we at least captured the U values, we captured the manufacturer information that needed for later stages, especially for operation and connecting the movement sensors. And this is an extract from BIM technical report. At the end there, as you can see, the process maps shows now when you have your model ready for simulation, you run simulation, you use the IFC model, it should meet that requirements. Of course, it's also ideas, the general ideas, not for this specific project, the general ideas that says you also have to have spaces, boundaries, and so on, specific information like thermal energy related simulation values.
Which we did not have at first.
Yeah, we did. We had to work on that, so we managed. And what we did as well, so you can cover additional. So if you're dealing with jalousie or like with a solar shading, then you have to know what you have to deliver in that case. In that use case, we don't have to went to Google, we went to use case management. We found a use case called openBIM for daylighting. And yeah, we had the chance to use that ideas separately, run simulation with openBIM, we had the IFC model. But in that case, we used a downgraded model in the IFC 2x3, not IFC 4 anymore, or 4.3, but it still worked. We had exactly requirements that we need to have openings, so windows should be properly mapped with IFC window, IFC curtain wall, IFC bin envelope means where walls and spaces that we have to deliver. What for? Because sometimes in US, clients decide, oh, we want to have a lead, whatever, lead 4, lead 5 now, I guess, and potentially you can have a credits after that. And in order to do that, you can run simulations and provide that simulation. In that case, we use, as you can see, Chicago. I didn't change anything. I simply use model, geolocated directly from IFC model. So I imported and it directly recognized where is the building. And we had, I had only to change settings for daylight simulation that usually, according to standard, you have to run. And as you can see, we did it for 21st of recently, let's say, for recently, September 21st of September at 9 a.m. and you have to do it on 3 a.m. So we run and it directly shows you results if you meet the requirements for daylight. So of course, we opened the jalousie, so then it is met requirements. So that's how it looks like when you have sub-processes, you run processes, and you check, of course, all that details. If you need or if you miss something, not everything is capable of covering it once. So you have to adopt IFC model for specific use case. It's not, there is no universal model that will be applied for everything, because some use cases not interested in U values of, in that case, for daylighting. I'm not interested in the U values of window. There's more interested in G value, like what will be transparency of the glass, or how many glazing they're related. So you, by the way, there is a property that in IFC for windows and doors. Yeah, we went through that. We created BCF again as a result. Mailed back, or not in that case, mailed, where you use the BCF and send it back to our client, architect, saying, here you are. And of course, we run energy simulation, right? We run energy simulation based on the other IFC model, IFC 4. And that model, yeah, we had some improvements, slight improvements, but visible now. You can see we use passive windows, so it means it's a huge step towards energy efficiency and improvement of before retrofitting and after retrofitting. You can see why it's such a big impact. The window itself, it's a triple glazed window with insulated frames. We had a leaky before, right? Previous case, we had leaky windows without insulation, I mean, frame insulation, and draft or like air leakage. Based on my master traces in the past, only air tightness affects 9% of whole building energy demand. So 9% means even if you improve the air tightness, you already win 9% energy efficiency. Now calculate the window. You have window as well. You have no more thermal bridging there. You have improved layers, and of course it's more airtight. So that's a reason. Plus, we integrated louvers, or that integrated jalousie or shading devices that affects in area of not only heating demand, in that case, cooling demand. So we protect ourselves from lower altitude sun during winter, or let's say fall and spring times as well. So that was a point where we reached our energy efficiency by simply doing the first of retrofit step, changing windows and improving air tightness. And openBIM standards and services facilitated our work, and it was fun. I think we had some tough time to doing some work. It was really hard, but the most interesting that single source of truth was a bSDD after all. And of course, landed in our IFC models and landed in ideas. By creation of ideas, the bSDD content was essential. We didn't create anything from scratch. We use all content from bSDD to create ideas. Yeah. So, architect.
Client's happy. The peeps in the building are happy. I think I'll grab the mic and we can open it up for questions if we want, if anybody has questions about either the process or. Yeah.
David, I have a thing. When you have done the energy calculation, then we can, in the life cycle perspective, calculate how many years do we need to save energy to handle the windows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that was a point that you now take over, and we can continue at the next summit calculating LCA further.
Questions, anyone?
Hello, everyone. Paolo from Italy. Two questions. One is technical. How do you map the layering in glass in IFC? Because from our perspective, it's not so easy. It's not so well done in IFC at the moment. And the second question is about a proposal that we already discussed. Is about having a classification of the BCF regarding to any bSDD, so I can classify the any topic in BCF and having a better understanding of the topics around. Thank you.
So, thank you for your question, Paolo. Yeah, of course, you need to check IFC schema for that case. So you have IFC window, and IFC window, that's if you are familiar with property sets, you go down, there is a related property sets for glazing properties, especially glazing properties. That's what I guess I just opened now. Window panel properties as well. But in that case, give me a second, there was a glazing property that you opened now. Glazing type. Glazing type. Sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. I need to share my screen. Thank you. Good point. Okay, thank you. I will share my screen now. You see my screen, right? I'm sharing. No, I did. Is it now working? You see that? Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's do it live. Now it's coming live after all. I will open bSDD and I'll open IFC schema. In that case, IFC 4.3, doesn't matter. Let's say we are looking for IFC window or simpler window, doesn't matter. I open that entity, which is here. IFC window. Of course, we have predefined types with some attributes, we have properties, we have types like what kind of operation types, like panel properties, glazing properties. And if you go down, you will see some panel properties like related. You have manufacturer information that, let's say it was Schuko in that case, what we used, and specifications. And we have glazing type, as you can see, PSAT, door, window, glazing type. So it's properties that applied for both for window and doors as well, because doors can also have glazing. And as you can see, we have glass thickness 1, glass thickness 2, glass thickness 3. That's where we use. And if you have some, what kind of filling, is it that's argon, krypton, the different kind of types of filling. Glass color you can also use. Is it tempered glass? Is it laminated, coated, wired? So there is this is what I mean, G value of solar absorption. That means in most of the arid heat like cooling demand countries, like let's say in Saudi Arabia, there'll be like more sense to use solar shading, good awnings, and maybe even shaded or like tent windows. So as you can see, solar absorption. I hope that answered your question. As you can see, we can capture, including solar transmittance, and you can enter all that and apply to the window. One more thing, as you can see, you can also use bSDD for that. And then if you go to bSDD, it's the same way, open IFC dictionary, you write window, or you can sometimes directly go to overall Windows search area window. And we found our window. We go inside, and we have 230 properties. And not many people know that we have relations as well with other potential dictionaries or incoming citations from other dictionaries. So there's a potential to harmonize all that stuff. Okay, let's go to properties. What properties we have? By the way, you need to open it, or you scroll if you want to search, or simply use this function. I'm doing job now for Arthur, I guess. Simply write down glazing. Let's find it. And you see glazing color, absorption, glazing, and I think we have to write glass instead, right? So glass color, glass fill, glass thickness. So we can do the same thing. Why it matters? Why I'm showing bSDD? Because I will apply. I can even open your Revit now and apply directly on any window, generic window, specific window, all that properties live, and export IFC model. We have, I guess, time. I don't know what time. Do we have time? 11:45. 11:45. So we can simply, let's say, open any model. Just I can show you how it works. Maybe you're new, and I think it's might be helpful in your future projects. It takes really quickly. I will simply add one window, and doesn't matter which one. Let's say this one. So we have, sorry? Oh, God, sorry. Now I have to share my screen again. Stop share. Can I simply share the entire screen, right? I think so. And then people will see all the whole stuff. Yeah, I think it's entire screen is easier. Now it worked. Here you are. Okay. Sorry? No, it's fine. It's fine. No, I just want to go back. So we are not familiar with this schema. Not a big deal. Go to bSDD. Write your work without IFC. Simply like I did now, glass, glazing. If you just look even the whole area, you will find on the sidebar some filters. Let's check only IFC. In that case, we can go to ATEM, we can go to only class as well. Let's say I see what we have, what properties or class in that case properties related to our case. As you can see, glass layer S, glass thickness 1, glass thickness 2, glass thickness 3. So I will write down glass thickness 1. Let's start with first property. You can do the same thing in most likely in any BIM authoring tool that implemented IFC schema. It will be actually integrated in the project, in a BIM authoring tool. But I'm showing that you can also do the same thing through bSDD. There are two now commonly in the Revit, or using Graphisoft Archicad, for example. It implemented IDS importer. If you created IDS, you can simply import IDS. It will be also the same way. You can work on Allplan. They also have now bSDD API. SketchUp. Many architects are using SketchUp, so it also have API for bSDD, so from Trimble. So just go, and there are two API options currently that is common and popular. One is from OpenAC, and another one from DigiBase, I guess, from the Netherlands. I'm just showing you this one. Let's go to example of this. And that's how you check the glazing. As you can see, all the import settings. Let's go to not only glazing. I just want to show you how I did this LCA thing. Now I want Jan Anders telling me what property you would like to have in that window. Just so, let's say.
Mostly, and in the future, only the identification, like the region number.
Okay, let's check what we have now. Then we'll have to open the LCA dictionary, LCA indicators, models, and LCA properties. I will apply that with IFC. That's what we need. I save, and now we will link all that models, right? So we have window now. And let's go through dictionaries. But before you do that, let's go back to LCA dictionary. If you're not familiar what we have in general in LCA dictionary, let's go to the dictionary. I'm also curious about it now. LCA indicators, models, and we have LCA properties, right? Let's go to properties. And as you can see, Jan Anders, you said...
Yeah, but in the future, we don't need to have the LCA properties. We need the identification to get the
so you need a class
from the product instead.
Yeah, but you still need to have products being created, and I'm pretty sure that many architects sitting here, they're doing generic or using generic models to create that product is not existing in BIM objects, whatever in the BIM database. So you simply use some kind of geometry, dimensions of the project, and apply properties. By the way, you can do the same thing with bSDD. Create any geometry, or you can download geometry. There are sometimes like heat pump, let's say. You have a heat pump, you open that, you apply, and in our case, we have a generic window now. I can apply your indicators or your classes directly on top of it.
The classification or the product type is essential for the generic data.
Yeah, absolutely.
For product data, it's only the identification. All other we can get from outside.
Indicator models. Here you are. So as you can see, identifications, acidification, ecotoxicity, general infrared global warming potential. That's what you want to have, right? So we can skip that properties. We simply go to global warming potential. I'll open this, and this is a class. You can classify with a bSDD, and you can also apply related properties. Let's do this directly. Global warming potential, and we have for global warming potential, as you can see, global warming potential biometric fossil fuels. I guess you want to have it total, right? We use this this dictionary with this class and plus property. And I will have to change that dictionary from properties for LCA indicators and models, like this way. We'll save it. And now we can go through a link again. We choose the well window, and we will go to, that will be global warming potential. Here you are, property set, global warming potential. And we have GVP per total, let's say 100, just for fun. Doesn't matter. 100. And I will assign to my window that are currently used as a basis. That's what we have now. Total, it's a real data type. As you can see, we applied it. And not that I will forget, we also have to apply, in this case, map it with IFC window, right? Or am I wrong? Okay, IFC window. So what now we have? IFC window mapped with indicators as a class. So we can go to types, and that's what you should be able to see now. Here you are. As you can see, IFC parameters. I'm sharing that. Here your class is a class LCA 3 global warming potential. And we have property related directly from there, GVP total of 100. Okay, that worked. Now I will simply export IFC model. Let's call it LCA simply, right? LCA window. And where my Solabri? Where's my Solabri? Here you are. Let's go to LCA window. We model that one in 1 second, as you can see. It's IFC window, right? I mapped it. And other properties, global warming potential, as you can see, like promised, GVP of 100. You can see that? Yeah. And we have one more thing. It's classified as window plus LCA window. So you can see you can also apply classification directly to it, and it will be directly applied to this. We can do this one more time, just for fun. You can class any wish. Maybe you can classify this window as something else. You can do that. No one. That's the biggest issue, or let's say challenge. So if client says, "I want this window not as a window but as a door," client is a king, let's say, or queen in that case. You can do that. So you are really flexible. bSDD is a really powerful tool, but sometimes you have to have a proper validation at the end. So with that point, I think I'm...
Nice demo. Yeah.
Great.
Any other questions? Run over to the other side.
Can do that one.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. I think it was very interesting, and I hope everybody really watched carefully for the bSDD, because I think this is a big value, especially for planning and design, because we need this generic information. My question is more because, for example, I'm dealing as a BIM management and BIM overall coordinator with 80 models of construction companies, and I get a lot of building them in proxies. I would say 80% of the elements are building them in proxies. And only a few of them have properties. And most of these properties are not documented. And I think bSDD could be a solution to this. My question is only, I have millions of elements, and I'm not able to tell them what is the entity of this, or what is the IFC class of that element, or these elements. And I'm just wondering if it's possible to do like a smart search. So when you were in the IFC schema, you typed in IFC window because you knew already that's the class I'm looking for. Here and on the bSDD, it was a little bit easier because you typed in window.
Yeah.
What happens if I'm just thinking of an author for HVAC company, and he's sitting there and he knows exactly the term or the name of an object? I don't know, and he's only
Heat
used
pump,
to,
let's say.
and he's not using the word heat pump. He's using like the manufacturer name of this because that's the terminology in his office. And is it possible for him to type in the name and find the suitable IFC class? I think if this would be possible on the bSDD, that would be a big game changer from my point of view. Is there any idea from BuildingSMART?
You mean
website?
name of the product, let's say, or manufacturer?
Yeah, it's actually, I'm not a big fan of the AI topic, but I think in this case, AI would make sense to help identify the suitable IFC class. And I think for the end users, because a lot of HVAC engineers are getting objects from several sources, sometimes directly from the manufacturer, exported from SolidWorks, and it's all up to the user to assign the right IFC class at the export, to do the IFC property mapping, and they are lost in this. And I think this kind of AI might help them to do exactly what you did, because you knew already what you want to find, and they often don't know what they are looking for.
Yeah, I got it. But then it's mainly a point of definition. If someone creates a dictionary, it means that the dictionary is there. You cannot use something that is not existing there. So if someone classifies it should be a heat pump, then it will be a heat pump. But the most important thing, we have the infrastructure domain, by the way, working group called bSDD for Infra. And we made a recommendation that all dictionaries who are dealing with classification should try to do IFC mapping, at least to that as a recommendation, or to try solve that problem. Because let's say I'm new to that world, I'm coming and writing in bSDD heat pump. What will be, before I show you, what will be potential IFC class mapped with IFC pump? With heat pump? Just assumption?
IFC pump.
IFC pump, no. That will be directly, exactly point. IFC pump is a pump the classical way, like you pump some pump, this pumping the water from the cellar after you have flooding somewhere. That's a classical pump. That's different, and that's not as well. Very close, still different.
It's the opposite of a fridge.
Opposite of fridge, no.
But you see, it's difficult. It's difficult.
It's really difficult, as you can see.
Yeah.
Not many. You have to dig deeper into IFC schema and find out. Oh, we have IFC for that. We had the same problem with kitchen devices or industrial kitchen. We had David. You remember we had the kitchen working group presented. We solved that with that working group. I will open that one as well, but before opening this one. So, how many of you knew about unitary equipment? IFC unitary equipment. If you go there, what's important to map all that classes? You go there. We did description according to 10 ISO, our working group PDTA for MAP. They're currently working on that heat pump classification. And the heat pump, by the way, is not just one pump. It's actually it's assembly. It consists of several items, like exterior item. Let's say it's even a split unit, right? It's a heat pump is based on the interior and exterior item. So those items consist of compressor, For, let's say if it's not electrical, then it's with a gas, so it means you have a burner inside as well. You have some equipment for controlling. You have Gehäuse.
But maybe may I interrupt you, because you explain now what the manufacturers have to do.
Yeah, that's what you asked. That's why I'm telling
I just want to encourage buildingSMART to help the normal.
That's what we do. That's we're currently seeing that. That's the first step towards your wish, and that's what we're currently doing at the buildingSMART Germany, and especially in that area of heat pumps related to this topic, energy efficiency as well. So you can
maybe one more question. Sorry, and the other question. So you can see I really like bSDD in that way. And the other question is, you showed the import process for the properties to the, in this case, Revit environment, and you needed an add-in for this. And I'm just wondering, maybe I don't know, Smart here or right somewhere, or I see Holger here, because would really encourage the BIM authoring software vendors to really make it easier and make the users not be dependent on add-ins or plugins or add-ons. Just make it possible for the author with your customer to directly be able to import properties with GeoIDs from this source without plugins and all that stuff, because then you are dependent on a third party developing a way or an access to your solution. And I think that's something I would like to encourage.
Well, there's different software vendors, and in that case, Autodesk deal with different ways, the same way called Outline and all others. So that's a matter of solution. Of course, by the way, I have to mention there are open source software as well, like Blender BIM, it was called previously Blender BIM, now it's called Bonsai BIM. They also have bSDD API the same way, and IDS validator. So you can use it as well. It's open. You can, as you can say, also have it as well. I can use that one because the classical way that everyone using, that's what I want to show. And last, before you ask the question, as you can see, unitary equipment. What was the positive side of mapping? Let me show you. I press a button. I don't know what's a unitary equipment. I go inside, I land in the dictionary of IFC, and it has a explanation, and it has direct parent class, child classes, and it's in child like predefined types in bSDD. It has all that related property sets. You can dig in and you can profit from them because you can apply the same, since you map that class with your heat pump, you can profit from the dictionary. Is the same way. You don't have to create your custom property sets. You can do it with one click, like I did it just now. Okay, now so question.
I'm right. It's energy conversion device.
Well, it's part as a parent class. It's below. It's a user. If you
didn't specify the fluid that was.
Yeah. But you have to. Of course, you go upper. If you that's a point. Yeah, exactly. There is a air to water, air to air, but it's just air source heat pumps. Imagine you couldn't find the proper IFC. Then you go upper. But we could. That's why we went down. That's why I said no. We don't. We have unitary equipment. We'll remain there. If let's say there was no IFC unitary equipment, then we will have to use energy conversion device. Yes. Thank you.
But aren't we since decades bumping into the same challenge that the IFC schema is? We were expecting the IFC schema to function as a complete classification of everything that is possible, and isn't that an impossible ambition? I mean, as you now have the bSDD, which can contain so many other classification systems, but you still insist to focus on what's now strictly defined within IFC 4.3, and you always will bump into certain limitations.
Yeah, of course.
The question, I was under the impression that gradually we would say IFC does not have to be that broad and big because it's effectively becoming a blocking issue. So you seem to insist that IFC should contain every possible future object, every possible product, whereas there is so many other ways to classify them, or objects or concepts which are defined, which don't have a place right now. And then we're blocked by the IFC schema as a classification system.
Well, that's a great question, and then there will be a following answer. That's what I remember about kitchen devices. You have a commercial kitchen. We had a commercial kitchen. That was a really big problem because of the whole industry. They have their own buildingSMART, by the way. I mean, it's called FSCI, Food Service Consultant International. They have more than 300 properties related for their classes of different kind of kitchen equipment, like coffee machines, ware washers, and so on. So they have many things like cookers, all that you can see in restaurants, right? In restaurant business. It's money-making business, by the way, and they want to have their classes. How? You have in the IFC schema, you have a dishwasher, you have some, but that's the point, interesting point. Not many knows that you can use a class for that. And food service equipment, in that case, we have a class in bSDD, and we mapped it with IFC electric appliance. Everyone said, what we have to do with electric appliance? Why electric appliance? If you go to IFC schema, or again, open even here, it says, but the better, I would say, simply go to IFC dictionary. Give me a second. And you will see the real case, how you will end up in that class. We don't need to have a kitchen device, an IFC kitchen device in the IFC schema, because this is a proper way of mapping. We have a device that enables you to feed electricity because it has port nestings, as you can see here. You have gas, like liquids, gas, electricity, waste, like waste disposal, like water, sewage, and so on. So you can add all that ports, and kitchen equipment need all that. So that's why we choose at the end to do this class or map with this class in that area. And as you can see, if someone creates a bSDD, please be careful, deep dive. You have to find someone who will be helping you and check, especially manufacturers, if you're dealing with a creation dictionary or some association dealing with a dictionary for a specific area. Let's say in our case, we had this heat pump area for building energy retrofitting is really important. Then we can use that class, and we will go to bSDD, search heat pump. Okay, we need to map our model with IFC unitary equipment, not with energy device, but we have more chances. And the same way like photovoltaics, like PV panels, solar device. So simply go to use case management. Maybe you will find some use case. If they have ideas, they probably will have ideas in any use case. Or go to bSDD. You will find, if most of the dictionaries, I wish they do IFC mapping, some not, but most they try their job. So I think with that, we can slowly wrap up, right?
Yeah, unless there's any more questions, comments. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.